Distressing scenes in Copenhagen. Fans and players watched on in horror as Denmark's star Christian Eriksen collapsed in their Euro 2020 match against Finland. His teammates formed a human shield around him as he was given CPR on the pitch for several minutes before being taken away on a stretcher. The fixture was suspended, with those left in the stadium fearing the worst. But then more positive news. A photograph emerged showing the midfielder raising his hand as he was carried off. It was then confirmed by the tournament organisers that Eriksen was stable and conscious in hospital. Denmark's Football Association said their players were able to communicate directly with Eriksen, and the decision was taken by both teams to restart the game. The Finns clapping the Danes back onto the field before going on to win 1-0.
I'm very affected myself. I was involved in a similar situation as a coach where we almost lost someone. Everyone is now reaching out to their family, trying to FaceTime them. All of our thoughts and prayers are with Christian and his family.
Eriksen was clearly on the minds of the teams playing in the later game in Group B. Romelu Lukaku scored the opening goal in Belgium's 3-0 win over Russia. He's a teammate of Eriksen at Inter Milan and dedicated the goal to him. Shocking scenes, but this has happened before. In 2012, Fabrice Muamba collapsed on the field while playing for his club in the FA Cup in England. Muamba said Eriksen's collapse brought him to tears.
It's almost like it brought back stuff that I've put down in me. This sort of emotion that just deep down there, I never want to relieve it again. And then to watch it from that distance and not knowing the expectation of what's going to happen, it's scary.
Eriksen is 29 years old and has never contracted COVID-19 and has no medical conditions that he's aware of. According to Inter's team physician, he has passed every medical exam since joining from Tottenham 18 months ago. Eriksen remains in hospital and is undergoing tests. Peter Stem at Al Jazeera.
Well, Sanjay Sharma is a professor of cardiology at St George's University of London. He also worked with Premier League clubs, including Tottenham, where Eriksen once played, and joins me now on Skype. Sanjay, we've seen this sort of thing happen before with Fabrice Muamba, who we heard from there, and tragically with Marc-Vivien Foé. What causes these sudden collapses?
I'd like to start by saying that they're uncommon. They affect 1 in 50,000 athletes. But when they do occur, they're usually due to an underlying heart fault, usually a genetic fault that runs in families or a congenital fault that someone's born with. And these faults may affect the muscle of the heart, the electrical system of the heart, or even the blood supply of the heart. So, as the commentator just said, that people that are high-level sports people are tested for these types of conditions because of the impact that a cardiac arrest has, not just on them and their families, but also on the general population. And Christian Eriksen certainly was tested for several years whilst he was a player at Spurs, and then went on to have a normal medical assessment at Inter Milan. And this begs the question as to what happened. Was it something that these cardiac screening programs were unable to identify, such as a subtle scar in the heart or a blocked artery? Or was it something that he'd acquired? Maybe he'd had a viral illness or was slightly below par before he played. I'm sure that these answers may come to light after the Danish cardiologists have finished all of their investigations.
The medical teams there in Copenhagen reacted incredibly fast last night. How crucial is the time to the survival of someone who's had an episode like this? And how important is it to have equipment like a defibrillator on site?
Well, we must congratulate them. I think the efforts were fantastic, and as a result of that, we've got a young man who is alive and will live for several decades. It's absolutely crucial to get the heart started once there's a sudden cardiac arrest, because for every minute that lapses, the chances of survival drop by between 7 and 10%. So when someone has a cardiac arrest, the important thing is to start CPR immediately within 2 minutes, which was the case, to keep all the other organs perfused, such as the brain. Clearly, if the brain doesn't get oxygen for enough time, then the individual could be left with brain damage in the future. And of course, whilst keeping that resuscitation process going, if there is a shockable rhythm such as ventricular fibrillation, which was the case with Fabrice Muamba, the important aim is to deliver an electrical shock within 2 or 3 minutes to try and get that heart started as quickly as possible. And it seems that this is what happened, and that Christian Eriksen's downtime, that is the time between the collapse and the time that they got everything going again, was really very short, and therefore his outlook is good. It's actually crucial that these defibrillators, pitch-side defibrillators, are available. I can only speak for the English Football Association, where all 92 clubs affiliated with the English Football Association do have such pitch-side care.
Professor Sanjay Sharma, thank you very much for joining us and your insight on that.
Thank you.